Right. Hey, everybody. My name is Mr. Westford. Today I have with me Ignis. Uh, Not really. I have like 2 hours, so we're not going to wait to like fill the chat up. Just people show up. They showed up. Links off. But yeah, today we didn't really hash out exactly what a prompt would be, but I think we're debating atheism. Is that great? Great there.
Yeah. So, I mean, what I would specifically say is, I would take the claim that atheism is self-evidently correct as long as there exists no evidence for the existence of a deity.
Okay. I mean, first issue there right off the bat is I don't believe in self-evident. That'd be the first thing. So are you trying to make like a impossibility of the contrary kind of
Uh,
argument?
so my claim is that how we as humans operate fundamentally, how we understand the universe is by perceiving things through our senses, and making conclusions based off of those things. And so, as long as we are incapable of perceiving any evidence of any deity existing, then the only logical conclusion from that is atheism, the disbelief in a deity.
Gotcha. You're cutting in and out a little bit. I don't know if on my end.
Oh,
I was having trouble a couple days ago. I think I hear you well enough, but I
let
don't
me
know if
close
anybody
out
else.
some tabs real quick, see if I can't get that fixed.
Yeah, it's just like
Yeah,
cutting out every like forward or something, come back in.
gotcha. Yeah, I think I'm
Okay.
getting that on YouTube. By the way, could you send me a link to the stream?
Yeah. My kids messed up my. Oh my gosh, I'm getting feedback. Can't talk while I'm hearing my. Okay, got that logged up. I have to. My keyboard's not working. Kids messed it up or whatever. Bluetooth's not working. I didn't have time to troubleshoot it. Okay, so it sounds like you have empiricism as your epistemology, correct?
Yep.
Like you look through your sense. That's how you were able to
My
determine.
Yes.
Okay, so probably heard it, but the classical critique of that is the claim that everything's found first in this data isn't found in data, right?
Sorry, you couldn't quite make out what you said. It's starting to cut out
Dang.
again. Dang.
I might have to figure out my internet if it's on
No
my
worries.
side.
I got time, so you do whatever you need to.
Gotcha. Um, well, people are saying Itachi lover. Is that the? I imagine that's the character.
Yeah. It's Itachi.
Gotcha.
Put
Well,
this
sorry about
put
this. I
this
thought I'd figured
ABI
it.
in my Google account a long time ago.
If chat, can we just confirm? Do I sound bad? And he said right. That fits on my end. My day router updated and it's just been screwy.
Let me open up Task Manager, see if
Yes,
anything's
that's
sucking
correct.
up my
Okay,
network
got that.
usage.
Got that right. Well, I guess talk to. Well, I'll be right back. Bad. Cool. Sounds good. All right. Do I still sound bad?
Go ahead and say a decently long sentence for me.
This is me saying a decently long sentence.
Sounded. Yep.
Many years to all and all good night. That's whatever
Yep.
that said.
You're chilling.
Oh, cool. All right. Just needed
All
a
right.
reboot.
So yeah, back to where we were. Yeah, my fundamental epistemological foundation is rooted in empiricism. I see and comprehend things with my senses, and form conclusions based on them.
Gotcha. Was it? No, no, I don't. I have it in my pocket. There you go. Okay. So how do you know that empiricism is true?
I don't.
It's just an assumption.
Yep, it is. I can never know for a fact that my senses are telling me the truth about the world. For all I know, I could have spent the entire existence in a white box that exists only, and there is nothing else in the world, and I'm the only thing that's real. But my senses are the only thing that I have as a consistent measuring tool, and they do consistently produce the same outcomes and fundamentally operate within a set of logical rules that they don't seem to violate. So they are the most logical measuring tool for me to use for reality.
So I'd say the two issues that come to my mind are the peripatetic axiom, what's not first found in sense data. What is it? All evidence is found in the sense data, right? That claim itself isn't found in the sense data. And then two, you'd have to justify the regularity of nature itself, which is empiricism also assumes.
As far as the first point, that notion is found in sensory data. We see things with our senses. We see how they abide by what we assume they should based on our senses, and they consistently do seem to do that. The results are repeatable and consistent. So therefore our senses are telling us that our senses consistently provide the most consistent measuring tool for reality.
Right, but it'd still be like the problem of induction, right? Like just because we know that the sun will likely come up tomorrow doesn't prove that it is, right?
No, yeah, I mean, we can't know that for certain.
Yeah.
I just have to accept that, and I do, that we just can't know anything for 100% absolute certainty.
Right, but is it not a logical contradiction to say that everything's first found in the sense data when that itself is not found in the sense data? Isn't that a logical contradiction?
Let me a second to think of how to word this. It might be, but it doesn't provide an alternative, and it doesn't prove that there is any more superior alternative or an alternative that consistently works better.
Right. Yeah, I'm not even going to like alternative yet. I'm just saying like the empiricism itself.
No, yeah, I mean, you
That's what
can
the question
find like logical problems with empiricism, just like you can find logical problems with literally any form of understanding reality, and it doesn't make it any less valid it doesn't make it any less true that it is more valid than other forms of determining reality.
I don't know if I agree with that because there are certain things you can know through logical deduction, like the statement like there's no such thing as objective truth. That's an objective truth claim, so it's self-defeating. So you can like logically take that apart. It's not that it just has something about it's wrong, and we just have to accept it for what it is. Like you can actually show like a contradiction, like A equals.
Well, I
right?
would never make the claim that there definitively is no objective truth. I would make the claim that we cannot ascertain if there is objective truth or not.
Okay, so that's like an agnostic position.
I mean,
at least not to God, but like agnostic.
No, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't know what it is categorized as, but it's the position that I take.
Gotcha. So I don't know if you've read Bonson or Van Til, but they have
I haven't.
They have an argument against agnosticism because people say it's not. It's just saying I don't know or we can't know. But their argument is that saying that in the first place you'd have to know the range and limit of possible human knowledge to even make that claim. So you would still saying like, oh, we can't know. You'd have to be saying like that that you can't know, right?
Well, I know that we can't know based on the tools we have available. It's possible that there are other tools that would make us know. I haven't seen any evidence for such things, but
right. So you have certainty in that aspect, right? You don't have certainty in empiricism. That's your foundational epistemology, but you don't have certainty in that, but you have certainty in that you can't know, right?
I don't have certainty that we can't know. I have certainty that I've never been shown a method of knowing for sure.
Okay, I thought that was the words you said. No, trying to put. I thought you said you had certainty.
If I did, that's my bad.
Gotcha. All right. Well, definitely not an empiricist. I laid out the reasons. I don't know if we'll get further into that line of reasoning, but sounds like you would disagree with a lot of the new atheists that say like, oh, atheism isn't a position. It's not a worldview. It's a single answer to a single question. Would you say that's a cope, or would you agree with that?
I would agree with it.
You would agree with it? See, I think it's shifting the burden of proof, because to make the statement, even if you're not making the statement, no God exists, or I don't believe that God exists, or you try to soften it to make it sound less of a claim, you're still presupposing a whole list of things that you're assuming in order to even make that statement. So to say we don't have evidence of God, you're presupposing an epistemology like empiricism that you just said yourself you don't have certainty of, that you don't have like a justification for on a basic
just
level,
because
right?
I don't have certainty of it doesn't necessarily mean that I don't abide by it.
Yeah, and that wasn't the critique, but the critique is if you have faith in, because I'm going off of memory of other conversations with atheists, but they would say like, oh, atheism isn't about faith, but we just got to the point where you essentially, would you agree you had faith in empiricism? Like you can't know, you have evidence to show that.
Well, yeah, every
your sense is
human being
reliable.
exercises faith every day. When they
Okay.
turn a doorknob, they have faith that there's not some random phenomenon that kept the lock turning every time that is not going to happen right now. They have faith when they turn the key to the engine in their car that it won't just blow up.
Right. So I mean, a lot of atheists won't admit that. So that's I think that's much more honest of you to get to that point. I don't think we got to the regularity of nature, which would be another thing. I think you would have to admit that you had faith in, right? Just like the problem of induction, you can't know that the sun will come tomorrow, but you have evidence. You can't really even say it's probable or likely in like a strict sense, because you'd have to have a full set, like a data set, to know. Like if I roll a die, I know it goes from 1 to 6, right? I can say what the probability is, but we can't actually say the sun's even probable to come up, like strictly speaking, tomorrow, right?
Well, we can say that like based on the same kind of reasoning we would use, that we would say that rolling a 6-sided die is going to come up with 1 through 6. It's based on our senses of what we know about the die and what we know about the sun. It's based on those things. And just because we don't know them for certain to be true doesn't mean we don't operate under those senses. And to not operate under such a thing would just lead to like infinitely absurdist conclusions. So while it may be true that we don't know everything, when it comes to the actual practical application of philosophy, we really don't have any other choice.
See, I would disagree.
Like you can't
in
you can't
two ways. But
you can't say that you don't know there's a secret 7th-sided part of that die that's going to pop up.
Yeah, I mean that would go back to the regularity of nature part. Like, can matter be created? Essentially, that is, do I know that matter can't be created? I mean, that's a law that we say. But I would say that going back to the probability, like if I have the complete data set, I know the die has 6 sides. That's different than saying, oh, the sun has always come up. Well, we don't know how many days there's going to be. We don't know exactly how many days there were before. We don't have like the full data set to know, oh, there's 6 days or 20 million days. We know it's come up 20 million and one times. Like we don't have an actual data set to say the probability, right? We just have like the past data.
Well, we have the past
part of the
data
point.
and we have the mechanisms that we can analyze that we seem to understand produce similar results every time if we apply those mechanisms to other entities of similar properties, meaning that based on our only capable tool of perceiving reality, we can make a statistical like likelihood statement on it, even though we can't know for sure that that statistic is accurate.
So you brought up reality. What is reality? Because that's a metaphysical, like, I think even the word reality would go against your empiricism, right? Because reality is a metaphysical, non-material claim.
Then I'll just say the world or the universe or the galaxy.
Okay, so you're talking about the external world, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, but I think that would just be kicking the can down the road. Because I could grant it, but I think it still would be metaphysically loaded. Like saying the external world, well, that's a goes into like cosmology, and again, that'd be like a worldview, foundational level thing, right? Whether we're saying reality or external world, but
well, I mean,
does that make sense?
could you restate it?
So if you were to say reality or the external world, those terms would be metaphysically loaded from your point of view, from your worldview, because that's a it's easy to say that those terms and think you're just describing like physical matter all around you, or like the fullness of the universe, whatever. That's the attempt, but using those words, those terms are metaphysically loaded. So that's essentially getting into cosmology.
Metaphysically loaded with what implications?
The like what is reality? What is your cosmology? All that stuff. Because like I said, I could grant the simple naive like, oh, it's the external world, but that even saying that there's an external world, we have to get into back to epistemology. So
yeah, so I mean, we can do that. I mean, it's the perception of the external world and the facts of how it, or the quote unquote facts of how it behaves around us, is consistently shared among humans, and we are capable of, we can never know that we're seeing the same thing, but we've gotten pretty close to being able to describe certain concepts that are consistent across all human experience, that aren't denied by anybody who's like not like medically diagnosed with some kind of delusional disorder. So while it is metaphysically loaded, I mean, there's not really that many cases where two humans would have a fundamental disagreement about whether or not they're standing on something if they're both standing on it.
yeah, I'm sure we could have more or less loaded like hypotheticals, but I think the point stands, and I'm trying to connect that back with the empiricism, because if you were to appeal to something like reality or the external world, that still would be an assumption based off your worldview, and I think it would have to square with the empiricism. So, like you said, empiricism is like the best form of how we get knowledge. So that brings up, what is knowledge? Is knowledge immaterial? Because that would be not found in the sense data, correct?
Knowledge is not really something that would, it's a metaphysical concept. It's not really a tangible thing. We can't know that it exists. It's knowledge is the word we use as a stand-in for just like information that we share with each other and know to be true based on our senses.
I mean, that kick the can down the road again with going to information, because information's not physical,
well, you can like like
interpretive,
just like reduce anything like ad infinitum, like with anything, quite literally.
I mean, potentially, but I'm trying to pin that down with the empirical claim, because like I'm not against sense data. I'm not against using some form of empiricism, but I'm not a naive empiricism where I think everything's found in sense data, right? Because I'm pointing to things like reality.
Well, no, there's multiple things that are not found in sense data,
there's
like
lots
moral
of knowledge.
prescriptions.
Yeah, like there's all these things that we'd say are transcendent or immaterial that wouldn't be found in the sense data, just like the foundation of empiricism is immaterial, which contradicts saying that everything's material, right? Like the physicalism, the materialism.
Well, I don't make the claim that like absolutely everything that humans engage with is just material and of the world. That's just like provably false. But when you are talking about the claim of a deity and whether or not you accept that claim as true or false, it is a claim made about the existence of something that requires humans to be able to comprehend information pointing to it.
Right. It would require an interpretative lens, right? So when an atheist says, "I don't see evidence of God," well, then I would go right to the, "Are you an empiricist?" Like, I want physical evidence of your immaterial God claim, right? That doesn't make sense.
Well, I mean, it doesn't make sense to demand physical evidence of an immaterial concept. However, it also doesn't make sense to claim that the immaterial concept exists and affects our physical world without any indication that it does so.
Well, wouldn't that be begging the question? Because if we bring up stuff like ethics, like if we bring up stuff like human rights, if we bring up any of the
Mhm.
the regularity of nature, all these things that are immaterial, that the law of identity, all this stuff, it's not physical, but we have to assume
Yeah,
it, right?
so I can point to sensory evidence for those things simply by saying we're talking about them right now, and we are having it like a shared understanding of a concept of those things. We acknowledge that they don't exist as a material thing, but we both understand and comprehend the thing that we're talking about. You know, a moral prescription is not a material thing, but when I bring it up, you understand that I'm talking about what humans ought to be doing.
That would go against the naive empiricism. So you would say you're not like at base level an empiricist then?
Well, I would say the sensory evidence for it is that we're talking about it right now. So it is it's like a metaphysical concept that humans have created. I can like materially, I could create any metaphysical concept right now of like I create the metaphysical concept of shish tabu, which is the metaphysical idea of reality not being exactly as we see and just being slightly off about it. And now it is a thing that we can materially say exists because I have just defined it and we both look at it and see it.
But what would be the ontology of these things? Because I mean, it still sounds like you're trying to root it into the physical, even though you're granting that they're immaterial, right? So,
Well, there's
so
nothing
you're saying because we
ontological
are
about
talking about it, there's nothing ontological about reality. There's nothing ontological about logic.
I depends on what you mean, but not necessarily. No.
So, did humans create the laws of logic?
Humans define the laws of logic.
But did the laws of logic exist prior to the emergence of the human mind?
In the way that we understand them, most likely, depending on how you're applying them.
Okay, so the three laws of logic, the law of identity, law of excluded middle, law of non-contradiction, those were in function ontologically existent in, let's say, the external world prior to humanity.
Most likely.
I would say it has to be, right? Because even if we're granting evolution or whatever cosmological thing, to have that, you'd have to have identity hold, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would say, to be clear, when I say most likely, it's like in my head, it's like a 99.99999% certainty, but we can't know that they did. No.
How do you know that we can't know?
Because I've not seen tool of measurement that is capable of giving us that information.
How would you know if you did?
I don't know.
Because do you think there are things that are, because you mentioned self-evidence earlier? Can you tell me what self-evidence is?
It's when did I say that? I'm sorry. I'm trying.
It was like the very beginning. I'm just bringing it back, because I think it's related to this.
Okay. I'm apologies because this is like actually like something I get mad at people for, but that is like a wording I will actually just completely abandon.
No, I mean, I just don't. Okay.
Yeah,
I thought
I am remembering it. I am remembering it now. I was kind of excited to hop in here and talk, but again,
gotcha.
So
yeah, it was when you were talking about empiricism. You used the word self-evidence.
Yeah. Well, so no, I mean, I don't think any. It depends on what you mean by evidential, but like, I don't think anything is necessarily self-evident.
Okay, because like I would define self-evident as it just. Essentially, I equate self-evidence with ad hoc. Like it just is. People are saying I don't have to argue about this because it just is, which is a fallacy.
No, I
mean, I don't believe in anything. I think everything has to be argued for.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think of something being self-evident as that. So I wouldn't be willing to use the term because I think it's a very loaded term.
Gotcha.
And it would be a mistake. It's a mistake that I did. However, I wouldn't even classify it as that. So I definitely don't believe in that.
Gotcha. Because I would again say it sounds like you're denying it, but like what you said earlier, I think any self-evident claim would go against the empiricism. But because now it sounds like you're going to a position of you want to say like 99.99 certainty, but you're leaving a room for doubt, a room for uncertainty. But it just
because they're inherently
how do you have certainty about that?
With any claim under my philosophical framework? Yeah.
Are you 100% certain about that?
Nope.
Okay, so is knowledge possible?
I think so.
Okay, so you think so. How
Yeah.
would you demonstrate knowledge is possible?
Because I can observe things with my senses that have consistently the same outcomes, and I can understand the mechanisms behind them, and I can test those mechanisms in other contexts with similar factors and observe the same outcomes.
Okay, so then how would you justify the regularity of all of those outcomes? Like you see that they're regular. How would you just give a justification for the regularity?
How do I explain how they are regular?
Yeah. How do you explain the fact that they don't change, or the material reality isn't? How does the law of identity hold across time?
Through various mechanisms of how particles and atoms interact with each other.
Okay, how would you know that the particles and how they interact with each other stay regular? How would you give a justification for that?
By observing them.
Okay, but that would just tell you that they are regular. It wouldn't give you a justification for it, right?
Well, I mean, under that framework, there would be no justification for it, but there would also be no justification for the belief of anything.
So it would have to be an assumption, right? You'd have to presuppose it.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, go back to faith.
Yeah, I mean, we have to have like faith to just like exist, and do anything.
Okay. Well, I think going down these lines, we're probably at an impasse. I think I've done my best trying to point out the problems. But if you had any other, I think we could go down like ethics or anything like that. I think that'd be very similar structure, but.
Well, I mean, here's where I'll align with most atheists that you talk to, which is where I'll just ask for evidence of God's existence.
Right. So I'm not going to give like a full apologetics for my particular faith, Eastern Orthodoxy, because I haven't been given like a blessing from my bishops to do that, but I can give an argument that I think works. So have you heard of the transcendental argument for God?
Yep.
Yeah. So that would be knowledge exists, truth exists, logic exists, therefore God exists, essentially. So that would be the justification, the precondition for those things. So just like you're saying, well, we'd have to have faith in them. Well, that would be being ad hoc, right? That'd be a fallacy unless you had some reason other than saying it is this way. I want to know how it is that way, why it is that way. So there's no other variable you can plug in except for God that would account for the regularity of nature, would account for morality, that would account for any of these transcendentals.
I mean, I simply say that there's nothing that accounts for it.
Well, then why would it be the case they're true? Or how would you wouldn't even know that they're true, right? You'd
I don't
know. Well, then we could just say they're not true, and it's the same grounding.
I mean, you can, but just because you don't have any like foundational reasoning to know that logic and knowledge are true doesn't mean we don't fundamentally operate on them as like living creatures.
Right, but like if I use a hammer, I can say how the hammer works, right?
Yep.
But if we use logic, we can say how logic works. We're asking a prior meta question of why. So
how does a hammer work?
Well, somebody would have to create it, right? It'd have to be manufactured. You'd have to have like if I just said I don't know if I was born, I wasn't there, I don't remember anything. Logically, it'd have to have a man and woman coming together for me. That'd be the precondition for my existence, right?
And how do you know that?
It because men and women make babies, buddy.
But how do you know that?
How do I know that men and women make babies?
Yes. How do you know that the process of an egg being fertilized by a sperm cell and being grown into a fetus inside of the womb, being nourished and carried for 9 months and then being birthed? How do you know that that's true?
Because God exists, therefore his creation holds true according to the laws of logic and identity and all that.
What about the chain demands that God is the source of that knowledge?
Because you get into problems like infinite regress or the law of identity not holding.
Getting into those problems doesn't like those problems existing doesn't mean that God is the source of it. I could also say that like you get into the problem of saying that there's no way to know that God is an eternal source, an eternal infallible source of that knowledge. I could say that God created that knowledge and logic in this universe as it is, and it is completely subject to only his purview that he exists in, and under an entirely superior purview that he is under that we know nothing of, and you would have no way of disputing that.
So you're saying God could make knowledge inaccessible?
He could, yeah.
See, I mean, that would be...
And there could be under this framework, there could also be another form of knowledge that is inaccessible to God that we would have no proof of.
So that would be outside of, that'd be an external critique of my position, because I'm presupposing the whole worldview that I'm arguing for. That this would be a different God that you'd be arguing against, right?
Well, I mean, I'm saying that the different God is a hypothetical that you could run into that essentially would have like the same exact problems that you would think atheism has under the transcendental argument.
Yeah, but that would still be getting us back down to knowledge is impossible, right? If
knowledge is impossible.
How do you know knowledge is impossible?
I don't.
Then you can't say knowledge is impossible.
I did. And I do.
Okay, how do you? That's a self-defeating position, though.
Yes, because if you reduce any form of knowing anything down to its absolute base philosophical fundamentals, then you cannot. Everything is self-contradicting and relies on itself.
I would say at a certain point, but
yes,
that
and you are
doesn't mean that knowledge is impossible.
Okay, so prove knowledge is possible.
God exists, therefore knowledge exists and is possible.
That is entirely circular reasoning that doesn't prove it.
At a meta level, you have to be circular. How do you prove logic without logic? You have to presuppose it.
I prove my senses with my senses then, and that is an equally valid claim.
No, it is not an equally valid claim, because, like I pointed with all the problems with empiricism before, that the claim is not found in the sense data.
The claim of God is not found in the existence of knowledge.
The claim of God is not found in the existence of knowledge. It would be our position would be revelatory, so we can know because he's revealed himself, correct?
If he has, how has he revealed himself?
Through his church. This is where I want to be careful not to go into answers that I don't feel like I have like the authority to get into. If that makes sense.
Well, then we would be at an impasse, because I would just be able to equally validly claim that it is not the Christian God that is the source of all knowledge under that framework, but a different unknown God to all of humanity. And there would be no way of proving that without getting into the actual material reasons as to why you believe the Orthodox Church is the one that has been revealed to be true.
Yeah, but we would still be looking at it as a holistic, like, paradigm level critique, right? So like if you're presupposing some other God that just has like,
it also doesn't, the source of knowledge doesn't necessarily even also have to be a deity. There could be some other concept that is just the source of all knowledge that we don't even understand the concept of and does not fit into our definition of a deity.
Can you give an example of that?
No.
Okay, but it's totally possible, right?
I mean, okay, well then I'll give an example. Drywall man.
Drywall man. Okay,
yep.
Is he uncreated or created?
Is God uncreated or created? There's your answer.
Yeah. So you're just saying God exists, but just changing the name?
Well, no, Drywall man does not have any of the powers or knowledge or omnipresence or moral standing or logical rules that the Christian God does. He exists only as the source of knowledge.
Okay, so but if he's not omnipresent, then, or omnipowerful, all of the other attributes, then how would we have access to any knowledge or regularity of nature if he's not capable of those things?
Because knowledge is inherently linked to his existence.
How would you know that?
I wouldn't. Just like you wouldn't know that God is the source of all knowledge.
It's an argument from the contrary of impossibility of the contrary.
Explain what that means.
So if you can demonstrate that there's no other option, then you maybe I'm not saying it as good as other people, but it would be that there's no other option. So that would be the option that would be true, correct?
Well, I mean, I've just given you another option. The drywall man exists as the source of all knowledge. His very existence makes knowledge exist. It stems from him. It is produced from him. And he doesn't have the power to change that or to alter the universe or the knowledge within it. It just comes from him. And if he ceased existing, then knowledge would cease existing.
So how does he solve the problem of the one and the many?
What is that problem?
That is nominalism versus like universals, right? So like a lot of different claims try to solve one or the other, but we would say the Trinity solves the problem of the one and many because he is one and many. Where drywall man, he would have, a single identity, but are you a nominalist? I would think you are a nominalist based off the empiricism.
Let me look up the definitions.
So that's essentially everything is its own instantiation. There's no universal categories.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. I would think that you would have to think about it more if you were going to continue with your position we were talking about earlier with the immaterial transcendental stuff like knowledge and logic and truth claims and morality and all that stuff.
Well, the bottom line about the transcendental argument is that just there is no logical connection that links the existence of knowledge to God inherently, or at least I haven't heard one.
See, it would be the ground. It's a argument giving a justification for the existence of knowledge, right? It's saying instead of it just is, or we can't say it's. If you're saying it just is, if you're being ad hoc, that's a fallacy, which would contradict the knowledge claim itself, right? But if you're saying that God exists, therefore knowledge exists, there's nothing contradictory or incoherent about that. It'd be a justification.
There's nothing contradictory about it, but there's nothing that
you're saying like no veracity, like there's no reason to. That would be trying, and this is where I'm not as good in this part. I would need to work on this, showing the veracity, showing the impossibility of the contrary.
Yeah, and so without impossibility of the contrary and without any points leading to the veracity of that claim, there's no reason for me to accept God as a source of knowledge.
But even you said that you have, 99% likelihood of knowledge about these things that you said that you can't have knowledge of. Well, it's weird because you're saying 99.99%.
I said in my head, it's probably
in your nine. Okay. But then you're saying you can't have knowledge, right? Even though you're saying I have knowledge of this stuff, you're saying I can't have knowledge. So
I think I have knowledge of this stuff.
Okay. Can you demonstrate to me show me that you have knowledge? Can you demonstrate it?
It depends on your standard of demonstration.
Can you give a justification for knowledge?
I can give a justification.
Okay, like one that makes a justified true belief.
What do you mean by a justified true belief?
I can't remember the guy's name, but there's like a certain, I can't even Google right now because my dang keyboard's all messed up. But there's certain qualifications for someone to be a justified true belief, right? Maybe somebody in the chat help me out. I'm not in don't have notes or nothing.
You must accept a statement or proposition is true. If you do not consciously hold the thought, you cannot be said to know it. The belief must correspond to objective reality. You cannot know something that is false at best of false, but belief premises.
Knowledge is just a really strong belief.
Logical reason for holding the belief. Well, so even under these three categories, you would need to define your standard of evidence for separate.
Right, you'd have to give an account for your epistemology, right? Like you're trying to get
like the justification. You must have like adequate evidence or like rational, logical reasons for holding the belief. That's for justification. That's one of them, and you'd have to define your standard for adequate evidence or a rational, logical reason.
Right. I would go back to the three laws of logic, right? So if something is like we can demonstrate through the impossibility of the contrary, like the law of excluded middle, right? Like I can't be both one thing or another thing. I can't be or like the law of non-contradiction, right? I can't be A and not A at the same time. I can't be a man and a squid, or I can't be um whatever, like you can demonstrate those things. So I would say if a knowledge claim contradicts any of those, like you're saying, drywall man, if he doesn't solve the problem with the one of the many, or if there's anything within his attributes that are contrary to the laws of logic, then it would make the knowledge impossible.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I would say that you don't have any method of proving that God meets those standards either.
Okay, how? Just because you can try to point to other possibilities?
Well, no, because it just hasn't been done.
Yeah, but that's what the tag argument is trying to demonstrate. It's trying to show the precondition that's
Yes,
being
and how does
that's
it
necessary.
demonstrate that God necessarily must be the source of that knowledge? How does it demonstrate that?
Because you go back to this is where I'm not as good. I probably have to do some more reading or whatever, but it'd be the impossibility of the contrary. So I guess since I'm not
Well,
equipped for
yeah,
that part,
if you can't
then-
demonstrate impossibility to the contrary, then I have no logical reason to accept the premise.
but you don't have any logical reason to accept your own foundations, correct? Like empiricism,
No,
knowledge.
correct. And I'm not claiming that they are objectively true, whereas theists are making an objective truth statement about the existence of God.
Do you think objective truth exists?
I don't know.
Do you know that you don't know?
I know.
Okay. Well, I mean, it'd just be epistemic blindness, right?
Well, it's my belief that pretty much all forms of epistemology come down to epistemic blindness because there's no way to know anything. Like under my framework, like I would have to believe that all epistemology encounters this problem. I believe there's like a very separate way of like how we think about philosophy and what we can know about it versus how we practically apply it in the real world.
Okay. So it's still just down to faith, right?
Yep.
Right. Well, I mean, you have been a much better interlocutor than a lot of people, because a lot of people are just like have the same Reddit talk. You're definitely not Reddit tier a skeptic.
Hey, I proudly identify as a Reddit atheist, okay? Don't take that
Okay.
away from me.
I didn't mean it. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I forgive you.
Well, I could try to come back, think about because I've thought about this before, but this is the first time I've had this conversation about tag in probably a year. I feel like I'm not.
No, yeah. I mean, if
but,
you want to come back to me and recontact at some point with some argument for impossibility to the contrary, I'm down.
Yeah, I'm fine just saying I'm not thinking about it right now. I guess
Okay.
Don't have it in me at the moment.
So it's fair. There's really no way to say this without sounding like a dick. So I'm just like asking you to believe that it's not my intention to be a dick. But then you would fair to say that like I'm walking away from this conversation with like no real reason to believe in God then.
I would say you have no reason to believe the things that you do because they're not justified self-admittedly.
Well, no, I mean, yeah. When you're talking about epistemology and how we know the things we know, I don't believe there's a reason for anybody to be certain that they know anything. I don't even know if that's fundamentally true or not. There could be some method out there that does actually just give us factual knowledge that we just aren't aware of yet, but I haven't seen it, so I don't believe it to exist.
Okay, but yeah, it's still just down to a naive empiricist, faith-based ad hoc position, right?
Well, I'm not saying that anything is just because it is. I'm saying that like we have no capability of analyzing things beyond what we perceive them to be.
Right. So just the naive empiricism.
I mean, you can call it naive empiricism, but without any contrarian method that has proved itself more valid, then it's.
I mean, yeah, we've been going back to the beginning of the conversation with the objective claim of empiricism isn't found in the sense data. It'd just be going back into that.
Yeah, I mean that's true, but like that doesn't change the fact that there isn't any other like alternative that's been presented which is more valid.
But if it's invalid, why would you go with it though?
Because based on the only measurement tools that I have at my disposal, it seems to be valid.
Okay. So it sounds like that nothing would get out of it because it's still just any information you'd still be interpreting through the empiricism, right? So there wouldn't be anything to get you out of that. If me trying to show you that the foundation of empiricism contradicts empiricism, I don't know if there is anything that would get you out of that. Because a valid still assumes objective truth claims, right? You'd still be assuming that there is an objective standard.
When I say valid, I mean a method that seems to produce consistently predictable results based on our senses, because the senses are the only thing that we have.
Do we have a mind?
Probably.
Is the mind material or immaterial?
I have no way of knowing, and it's very disputed in like neuroscience. Like there is some studies I've read where analyzation of like certain parts of the brain seem to be heavily linked to the elements that we define as a conscious experience. And there's also been like cases where certain parts of the brain have been removed that we thought were crucial to that conscious experience, and we seem to observe a conscious experience continuing afterwards. I don't believe there's a way to know for certain. That's why I said probably when you asked if the mind exists at all. I can't know that.
Right. I mean, there are a lot of atheists will say either the mind doesn't exist or it's emergent out of the physical properties. Or Matt Delhunty in one says that the mind doesn't exist, but it's also his brain does.
To be clear, I do believe that it's emergent out of like the physical properties, but when we're talking about like things to like this like level of reduction, there's no way for me to make a true statement about anything.
So you'd still think it's couched bottom up within physical matter.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that's about as like the farthest level down that we can go before we just are incapable of knowing anything.
Right, but yeah, I mean, this would still be getting into the laws of logic and identity and all that stuff and having to assume all that. But I think we're still at impasses in multiple places, though.
Yeah,
if we kept going, I think I just have to bring up the same objections and we just be
yeah. Like the thing is like you can have like objections to empiricism that are like unanswerable by empiricists, but it like at the end of the day that doesn't fundamentally affect the claim that I have no reason to believe in something.
Right, but do you have no reason to believe empiricism though?
I mean, I have a reason, it's just not an absolute one.
Okay, that'd be asking about the objective truth claim.
As in, like, whether or not I think objective truth exists?
Yeah, which I mean, that would be an example of, so you don't believe objective truth exists?
Not in the way that it's like typically defined in these conversations. No.
See, that would be an example of demonstration to the possibility of the contrary in my mind, because to say objective truth doesn't exist is an objective truth claim. It's self-defeating.
I mean, all I have to do to solve for that is like saying it is to say that it might. I'm just incapable of perceiving it.
Based off of your epistemology that you assume.
Yeah. Gotcha. Well, based on the tools that humans have at our disposals. Yeah.
Right. I mean, I'm not against empiricism, or I'm not against empirical sense data, but I'm against naive empiricism, founding assumption of epistemology for that epistemology. It's not my epistemology. Yeah. So I'm not anti-sense data. But I would just say there's evidence, there's the laws of logic that we can use. There's our minds. There's other evidence outside of the senses.
Yeah, I wouldn't qualify it as evidence because we can't know that it's existent.
Right. Well, that's because of your assumption of empirical data, right? Of empiricism.
But what is the epistemology that you have that allows you to know that the mind exists and that the rules of logic exist?
Again, it would be going back to the revelatory position I have with the transcendental argument. But I would say even not going into that, I would say it's just on a paradigmatic level, without having to get into my epistemology, we can show that your epistemology is assuming these things, so they must be the case, and things can't be accounted for based off your epistemology. Your epistemology must be bankrupt in some way on a foundational level. Doesn't mean empirical data or sense data is wrong or not something we should account for, but that as the totality of it, right? Because like you said, you don't really have a position of the mind, or it's maybe emerges from physicality.
That's
like
what I
mind wouldn't
personally
be
believe.
the
I just
mind
don't
wouldn't
have any
be
way of absolutely knowing that.
it's like the mind or numbers or math or logic or truth or love or ethics. All these things would be immaterial things that would be outside of the realm of sense data, right? But we can still demonstrate them to be. We can still demonstrate the law of identity. That'd be against the nominalist position that everything is a specific instantiation with no universal categories. But again, like nominalism kind of assumes the categories it's denying.
So I tentatively agreed to like probably being a nominalist based on like a quick Google search I did. I'm not.
Yeah. I would look into it because I think it's. I mean, a lot of stuff is kind of based on. It's essentially it's denying universal categories. It's denying that like you and I have the same human nature. Like,
so
you and I are
my fundamental claim is that
of material reality.
My fundamental claim is that every single problem you can point out in my epistemology, I believe, is present in every single form of epistemology in one way or another.
But if my foundation isn't everything's found in the sense data, if we have things that we know are not found in the sense data, then it wouldn't be a problem.
How do you know those things come before the sense data and not after?
Because you'd have to presuppose the laws of regularity of nature. You'd have to presuppose a mind that we have free will. You have to presuppose that we are evaluators that can correctly make sense of the world. You have to presuppose all these things before you can get to the sense data. And then that's going like a meta question. Even if we're granting empiricism, we can go from the other end of like, can you put these immaterial things in my hand, right? Like you can put a brain in my hand, but you couldn't put someone's mind in my hand. You could try to show ethics or different behaviors, but you couldn't show morality. You couldn't physically show it, right? You couldn't show information within the fossil record or information within anything you find in the physical world, right? That's something you're interpreting from it. There's nothing physical within the atoms.
Yeah, but how do you know the existence of that information existed before your sensory data?
I think that would have to be the case, right? Unless you're going to solipsism to saying it's all your mind.
Why does it have to be the case?
Because if there's, okay, let me think about this. So you're saying if we're going the other direction, you'd say that these things come out. Okay, I'm trying to turn it around in my mind. So you're saying that the physical evidence could be after our minds.
Well,
I'm trying to not get around, get lost in my own mind thinking about it.
I'm saying that I'm basically just asking for like a proof that these things necessarily exist before the sensory data tells you that they're there.
I would say you have to presuppose them to the laws of logic, because if let's say there's sense data out there,
but if you're
rock,
presupposing,
right? Rock always is a rock, right?
If you're presupposing it, then you're just inherently making an assumption, just like I'm inherently making an assumption that my sensory data is accurate.
Right. And I don't think assumptions are wrong, but if your assumptions can be justified, right? If your assumptions don't, because to come to a debate, we are presupposing and assuming the rules of debate, to not commit fallacies, do all this stuff.
I presuppose the validity of my senses because they're the only tool I have that consistently produces accurate results according to my senses.
Right. So you are a mind that is evaluating your senses. So you're granting yourself a mind, you're granting yourself identity, you're granting yourself free will, all these things prior to your sense data and prior to anything in the physical world that you're receiving sense data impressions from, right? Like that would have to be the case that's why I was trying to say earlier, this thing has to be before this thing for you to have that thing in the first place. You have to have your mind, you have to have your identity, the laws of identity of who you are, and that you don't change into something else. You're not you, but also not you. Those things have to be the case for you to get to sense data, right? It couldn't be the other way around. That's why I was trying to put it in my mind the other way around. Like,
yeah, give me a second.
oh, this break in my brain.
I would say those metaphysical concepts are something that we define ourselves and is like seem to be true. So we do inherently like presuppose them, but we don't have a method of analyzing or understanding them outside of the lens of how like our own brain is capable of it.
Yeah, I would say that we have to go from our own limitations inherently, but I would say we have a difference in truth claim of what those limitations are. I think would be the distinction. Because we have different epistemologies, right? You have you have empiricism, which would be granting yourself these things to get you to the sense data to interpret it. You're granting yourself that you are an agent, that you have free will, that you have you're granting yourself the regulator of nature, you're granting yourself all those things to get to your epistemology, right?
Yeah, I presuppose those things because I experience them.
Yeah, I mean, that would be where we'd ask for the justification, right? Because I'm not denying sense data, but I would say there's immaterial things that are required for you to get to that.
Yeah, and that's where I would say there is no justification under any epistemology for those things.
But then this is where trying to get towards the demonstration of the possibility of the contrary, I would say that itself is self-defeating, right? Because that itself is a claim that contradicts itself.
Well, like as I said before, all I have to do to solve for that contradiction is say that I don't know that.
Then it would just be going infinite regress of how do you know that? How do you know that you don't know? It'd just be at some point you are claiming objective truth. You are claiming, like you said earlier, validity. You are claiming, and it's okay to presuppose stuff. We all presuppose stuff. We all have a worldview of perspective. But it's just, can you have false experience? Can you have false knowledge? That these are the foundational meta questions I've been asking.
This is gonna sound slimy, but what do you define as false knowledge?
Believing something that is contradictory. I mean, it could be on multiple levels, as simple as like you believe somebody's lying. You believe them when they lie to you. It could be that I know that the sun's not going to come up tomorrow, and technically we don't know that, but I'm saying that I know it. If I am saying I know it, somebody said, okay, well, how do you know that? Right? Well, I don't need it. I don't need to say, like, we can't know anything, actually. Well,
so
how do you know that we
never,
can't know
I would
anything?
never make the epistemological claim that saying the sun won't come up tomorrow is definitively false. My claim would be based on the only method of determining whether or not it will come up tomorrow that we have. That is false.
Right.
But it does not necessarily mean that method is correct. It's just the only method we have.
So that would be what I would put into question, that it's the only method that you have, especially when we can show the foundations of it are contradictory, or that there are things that you're presupposing in order to get to the thing that's supposed to tell you how you know. I understand these conversations can get hard because we're doing metaphysical meta questions that are prior to.
Yeah, I'm just taking a second to think. I mean, an epistemology being self-contradictory is just.
It would just show that you don't know that like, let's say I claim that I know that there's buried treasure behind the Burger King or in the promised land near me or whatever. Right. But if what I'm talking about, that's a bad analogy. I'm mixing metaphors in my mind now. So let me try to back up in my own brain. So we're talking about epistemology. How do you know? You're saying that empiricism is the best method, right? I'm asking how you would know that. So essentially, you'd be having to make a impossibility of the contrary statement yourself, right? So, and I was talking about false experiences. That's what I'm talking about. False knowledge, false experience. I'm kind of getting back to where I was. So, I mean, even within scientific data or scientific thought, there is, like, we evolved to, when we hear a noise in the bushes, think there's a lion. So when we run away, right? That's like you get into like the Brett Weinstein, like false beliefs that are utilitarian or prudent, that it's better for you to assume that there's a lion, even if it's just a bunny rabbit or whatever. That'd be a false knowledge, but it'd be something that's like helping you within that utilitarian frame. So there is false knowledge, just be knowledge that you don't have, but it's that's part of the justified true belief I was trying to come up with earlier, is you can have a truth claim that's correct, but you don't have a justification for it.
Yeah.
Which just means you don't have good reason to believe what you believe.
Well, yeah, that's so what I'm fundamentally saying is that like you can endlessly critique my epistemology, but it will always come back to that I don't believe any epistemology has good reason to believe in its own validity.
So then why do you rely on empiricism rather than like just abject skepticism? Can completely
because empiricism is consistent with my senses.
Okay, but if you don't have a justification for the regularity itself, just because you know that'd be going back to the problem of induction, that you'd be assuming the regularity would even continue.
Well, it's only a problem if I'm making an objective truth statement. I'm saying that our senses tell us that this regularity is an existent phenomenon that we can typically rely on, and so I choose to place my faith in it because I see it happening.
Okay, how do you know that?
I mean, I could answer one of two ways. I could just say I don't, or I could just say my eyes tell me.
Okay, so you just be going back to experiential, trusting your own sense data.
Yeah.
And trusting that it's not a false experience.
Yeah, and which like is in like not a way of deriving an objective truth statement ever, but that doesn't necessarily mean that other epistemological foundations have a method of arriving at an objective truth statement either.
And do you think that there has to be at least one epistemology that has justified true belief in truth claims?
I don't think that, no.
You don't think that? Would it be objectively true that there is no objectively true epistemology then?
No. I said I don't think that, and I didn't say I don't know that.
But wouldn't that be the implication? Wouldn't that be the entailment?
It would be the likely implication, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's fact.
Wouldn't it be law of excluded middle? There can't be a middle possibility. It's a binary. Either it's true or it's not true, right?
Yeah, I'm saying I don't know if it is. I don't think so, but I don't know.
Okay. I mean, going back to like the agnosticism argument, I would still say I don't know is still a truth claim, especially because you're saying you don't know. There's that obvious, but it is claiming the boundary of what possible human knowledge is. It would still be based on epistemology because you can't get away from your own point of view.
Claiming the boundary of what we've observed human knowledge to be.
Right, would still be on the basis of empiricism.
Yes.
From physical sense data.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like we've demonstrated there's things outside of the purview of empiricism. The only way out of that
we think that there's things outside of the purview of empiricism.
Right. Would that be the impossibility of the contrary? Because, like I've said, if there's no objective truth, that's objective truth claim. So it must be the case there is objective truth.
Well, you could also say it's possible that the claim that there is no objective truth is the sole and only objective truth claim, with
that's still self-defeating though, because that would be an objective truth claim. So it's self-defeating, and if you say it's the only one.
Well, now if your claim is that it's the only one and that there is a singular objective truth claim, that it's not necessarily self-defeating.
So there are no other there's no other objective truth claims but this one.
I don't make that claim necessarily. It just doesn't defeat the argument.
I would still say that's contrary to the laws of logic, though. If we're unless we're going to say that it's okay to contradict the law of logic.
Well, every epistemology contradicts the laws of logic.
How do you know that?
I observe it
through your sense data. So when did you observe me contradicting any of the laws of logic?
When you claimed that God is the only possible source of knowledge with no evidence to the contrary.
Which of the three laws of logic did that contradict?
Justification.
Yeah, that would be. I mean, the argument is the justification for the claim, but I'm asking about the law. Like, if did it violate the law of identity? Did it violate the law of non-contradiction? Did it violate the law of excluded middle?
It violated the law of justification. There is no reason to believe that God is the only possible source of that knowledge.
Yeah, and then what I'll do my homework there. I know I haven't watched FDA in like 2 or 3 years. Father Deacon Ananias, he has lectures on the breaking down the proving things to the impossibility of the contrary. So I'll get to that, and then I'll have a better answer. Like I said, I'm fine with being honest and saying that I feel like that's just where if I try to come up with stuff, I know it's not gonna actually be like prepared or whatever.
I mean, yeah, like I said, there is endless critiques to my epistemology because I don't believe that any epistemology is like valid, but that like without like impossibility of the contrary, I have no reason to accept the transcendental argument.
Right. Well, then I'll try to get that to you, man.
Yeah.
But,
so my position as an atheist stands like unchallenged in my mind.
I mean, I would see. The thing is, I would still say I think I did a pretty good job demonstrating like the incoherency and the contradictions within the view. I know that you can say that we don't have any epistemology, but again, that'd be going back to self-defeating statements, unless you try to caveat it with like only this one's not. But I'd still say that's fundamentally contradictory.
Well, yeah, like humans just have to be contradictory, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, we're full of them, but I do think objective truth exists. I think because of the possibility of the contrary, it has to. Because if it isn't, the knowledge is impossible. So this whole conversation, us coming to debate, us trying to figure this out, have a conversation about it wouldn't be possible.
Well, yeah, that's why I'm only really talking about. So when I speak so like uncertainly and say we can't know any of these things, like I'm talking about specifically what we can prove beyond a shadow of a doubt, and we only have our senses to analyze that proof. So our experiential analyzation. So it will all lead eventually to the same path.
I mean, I would disagree because
I think our senses, so therefore we can't trust any of the conclusions that they lead us to.
Right. I mean, that'd be a critique of empiricism, but I think you can use logical deduction to show true propositions, which would not be found in the sense data. There's no propositions found in the external world, right?
Well, you would have to find some way of proving that the elements of your deduction are true.
Yeah, but
and how do you prove that to me in a way where I'm not using my senses to analyze it?
Well, without you being skeptical of your own skepticism, you'd have to have faith to try to engage with it outside of your own epistemology, which would be, this is where I think tag is a logical demonstration, but it can't actually make anybody have faith. Like you actually have to take the step.
To be clear, I am definitely skeptical of my own skepticism. I think anybody who is a skeptic, logically has to be. I don't remember who it was, but this is a side tangent. I just feel the need to say it kind of perfectly illustrated my my idea with modern philosophers, or my problem with modern philosophers, which is, I forget who wrote about it, but there was some dude who wrote a philosophical paper just recently. I believe it was 2020 or more or later, about how skepticism must inherently be skeptical of itself, and the entire academic community freaked out over it like it was some revolutionary thought. But that's a side tangent. I just think completely separate topic. I just think philosophy is a useless topic to talk about outside of the practical application in our real world.
Yeah, I mean that's basically our position too, is that philosophy is only useful insofar as it's a tool, but it's very much like a pitfall to people to be self-masturbating, just going around in circles and pontificating or whatever. There's a whole lot of false philosophy out there. But I would say that I think that I do hear a lot of you being skeptical of your own skepticism, but I do think that there is parts of that where you were not skeptical of yourself, not skeptical of your own position, in that the things you would say would be still
So I'm not.
assuming them, but
I don't behave skeptically of my positions. Like the skepticism exists in my mind because that concession has to be there. But I don't behave
right.
skeptically of the position because I have no reason to. It just has consistently produced like accurate outcomes insofar as we have tools to measure the accuracy.
Right. So that'd be where I would say it sounds like you're not being skeptical as far as that. I think you have gone to a certain extent of the skeptical.
Like I'm very
skeptical of your own-
outcome oriented
Yeah. So it'd be like utilitarian, right?
to a degree.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, utilitarianism would have its own issues in my mind.
I
But,
mean, yeah, that's why I said utilitarian to a degree. I mean, I really don't ascribe 100% to pretty much any philosophical thought.
gotcha. Well, I think we'd keep going around in circles, and I think
Yeah, probably.
yeah, I mean, I would say just keep going, but I think this is a great conversation, way better than I was expecting, because a lot of the comments I'm getting are just like, oh man, like this is like I know you're a Reddit tier atheist, but yeah, a lot of Reddit tier atheists out there.
So, also, one of the reasons that you probably expected that is because I intentionally behave as inflammatory and as much of an asshole on Twitter as possible, because I don't think that platform holds any fucking use for the discourse. Sorry, I don't know if you appreciate swearing on your stream.
I try to do less of it, but I don't
sorry, I'm trying to avoid it, but out of respect, I just
yeah, I take, especially Twitter, I don't take super seriously. I just would like throw out random thoughts, and whatever reason the algorithm like gave me a bunch of views. Yeah, so I guess I'll just keep giving it this one.
Yeah, I basically do the same thing. I with like a dash of intentionally being as like inflammatory and rude to people as possible, because that platform is completely destroyed.
Yeah, it's I don't know if it's coming back, but it's kind of fun. It can be fun. There's a lot of like, I get like people like throwing out accusations, and a lot of it just, I feel like if I'm not actually having a conversation with this person, obviously, like I'll be making a joke and they just like just goes right over. I'm like, man,
if Twitter is to ever be a useful actually, I'll rephrase, if social media is to ever be a useful platform for like constructive discourse, we need to like straight up like make it illegal for there to be a For You page and an algorithm. People need to not be allowed to just exist inside their own box.
Yeah, we don't. Maybe somebody has, but society at large has not thought about the implications of this technology that's been like unleashed upon us.
I honestly think that we should keep it around and try to explore it, because I think it can do far more good than I think the potential for the good that it can do is very, very high, and something that we should achieve, like seek to achieve. But we need to start regulating very quickly.
Yeah, well, I think any tools or technology is going to have good and bad. I think it's just kind of implicit within technology itself. What was I going to say? Oh, there was a one guy, not Owen Benjamin, but Owen Cyclops. He made a point. It was like, okay, I think if we keep social media, there's be like a top-down control of like people are only allowed to use text, and you have to get like explicit permission from an authority to use any kind of audio video, because like people just like sitting there scrolling the shorts and stuff, it's just frying everybody's brains.
Yeah. So like, I mean, I have a problem with short form content, but my specific issue is the way that the algorithm specifically tailors itself to engage emotional reactions, meaning you will always see the worst from the side that you don't agree with, and you will always see the best from the side that you do agree with, and the facts of the issue will be hidden in whatever way that it's not even like it's something that's intentionally done. It's just the algorithm is trying to please you. Like, I legitimately think there should be legislation that outlaws any kind of algorithm who's clear that the clear intent of it is to just like farm engagement and please the person engaging in it.
Well, I'm glad you're not a laissez-faire capitalist. Those people are the worst.
God, no. No, I'm a mixed market. Depending on who you talk to, I'm like a fucking red-blooded commie, and if you talk to other people, I'm a disgusting capitalist pig. Like,
yeah, I mean, I'd probably be somewhere in there. I mean, I'm a monarchist.
Like,
I believe in regulation and blasphemy laws and all that stuff.
I'm so glad we have the Second Amendment.
Me too.
But
I don't think human rights exist, but I'm glad I have the Second Amendment.
yeah, well, yeah. But all right, it was fun enough.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
Didn't do any. You too, man. I would have prepared more. I thought I was going to talk to the person that you were appearing to be.
No, yeah. I mean, while I do act inflammatory as possible, I am careful that I don't say anything that I wouldn't be prepared to at least elaborate on.
Yeah.
Yeah. But all right. Have a good one.
Yeah, you've been civil and you've been good and good faith and all that. And it was a good conversation, I think.
Yeah. Have a good day, man.
You too, man. Farewell. That was not anywhere near as expurgy as I thought. I think I did all right. Definitely could do better. It's my first time doing like a it was not a formal debate. He just challenged me. I said jump on. But yeah, I was a little nervous going into it, you know. Something about like being watched and having an audience. I didn't really keep up with the chat. But yeah, I was a little nervous. I like getting nervous. I like doing things that make me nervous. Got those little butterflies and everything. Nadim, you keep wanting to come in here? Or are you going to tell me what I did wrong? I know I didn't do the best. I'm not like, I don't do this as much as Jay Dyer, you know? Obviously you can demonstrate the possibility of the contrary by just saying, no, obviously. Yeah, I mean, I think with zero preparation and me just having I was working on the studio earlier. And I'm like, all right, I guess I'm gonna go talk to this guy. I was honestly, from engaging with him online, I thought it was gonna straight up be like, atheism isn't a position; it's just an answer to a single claim. And then I was like, okay, well, I'll go through all the things you have to presuppose, and we kind of went down that route. You have to presuppose the laws of identity. You have to presuppose free will. You have to presuppose that you are a moral agent. You have to presuppose that you are an evaluator. You're granting yourself all this stuff to even get to the point of saying, I don't believe your claim of a God exists. Like, to say that, you have to have a worldview. You have to have a position. You have to have an epistemology, metaphysics, all that. You have to have all that to get there. Just like with empiricism, you have to have all this stuff. You just got to give it. I need it. I need all this stuff. But I just don't believe your claims. I just only believe what I see with my eyes. Okay, well, you're saying that you have a mind. You're saying that you have identity. You're saying that you have free will and are able to access knowledge in the first place. So that's kind of what I thought was going to be. Guy was definitely a little more well-spoken than I was expecting. Hello, Nadim.
Hello.
Did I do terrible, Nadim?
My foot hurts, therefore God doesn't exist.
Is it a foot of
my
law?
foot, my right foot, there's like a part of it that's like hurting me, so it means that God doesn't exist.
Well, it means he's bad and mean. I hate him and he's not real.
Yeah. And my mind told me.
He didn't go off of like all the same generic atheist talking points, but he did have like the same. It's just knowledge isn't possible in his worldview, right?
He kept trying to wiggle out the fact that he's making truth claims, but
I'm nice and not a douchebag, so I was like, okay, if we're just at this impasse, I guess we can keep going. But then it would be okay. Now we're back at that impasse to here, but
yeah, it would still like be like same objections all over. That in the end, it was a bit redundant.
Yeah, that's why I kept being like, okay, I guess we can just move on. I feel like I've gotten it to this place, and unless I just literally hold you here and make you make us both squirm because we're just saying the same things over and over.
And I know why you didn't move on because he said you didn't say anything that made me change my position. So you wanted to.
Well, I didn't say anything that would change his position, and I think tag is a demonstration, but still you have to, just like you said, everybody has to have faith, right? He has to step out of that empiricism that he's presupposing.
He has to
oh my gosh. All right.
He has to be more good faith.
Yeah, I don't have any respect for you for coming on here and being in good faith and like being civilized and all that, because I think I could beat the shit out of you.
He has to go like he has to get out of his delusion that he's not
Yeah.
making any objective claims. Just
Yeah.
just saying I don't know presupposes the presence of
Yeah.
knowledge. Like,
Yeah, you have to have those things in the first place. And he's saying, well, I don't think any epistemology can get you there. I'm like, okay, well, how do you know? And he's like, well, I'm just saying that's the basically
I'm
the
just
move
saying
of the
I
old
don't
atheist
know.
to the new atheist of saying that's the same move between saying no God exists or I just don't believe your God claim. That's the same thing of using language to try to squirm out of the fact that you are making a claim, that you're making a position. It's an attempt to use linguistics to negate yourself of the burden of proof that you have, right? It's a law. It's the myth of the given, or the myth of the fallacy of neutrality.
He just knows that he doesn't know, but he makes it sound as if no, it's just like no, I'm completely subjective in every claim I make, which in itself would be an objective claim. Like,
Right. I kept trying to demonstrate that you can use logic that's immaterial to show things through the impossibility of the contrary, which I guess I need to brush up on. Like I try to just like the basic of like, if you're saying there's no truth claim, then that's a truth claim. And he's like, oh, no truth claim, but this one. It's like, okay, well, that's basically saying the exact same thing, but trying to use like linguistic semantics to say the same thing, because you'd still be saying knowledge is impossible. How do you know that that's the only one, right? It'd still be granting yourself all the things to get to that. Even if we're trying, it's the same move between no God exists, I just don't believe your claim, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah, and also even like in the wording he uses, like when you enter, like when you're like dissecting his worldview, he would like deny, for example, the presence of a mind or whatever.
Well,
but then after he'd use, oh, in my mind, it's
well, that's he even admitted that he's skeptical of his own worldview, but he acts like he doesn't. And that's why I kept saying, I think you have been to some degree, but you keep switching back and forth between being skeptical of your assumptions and just completely acting within them. So I feel like you haven't actually gone far enough.
If his senses,
if he was totally skeptic, he'd be like, yeah, there's no truth claims. Like, that's nihilism. That's easy to, that goes right back to the demonstrating logically the impossibility of the contrary.
If his senses led him to believe that his skepticism is the better way, whatever he was phrasing it, then the fact that he's not being skeptical of his skepticism while debating you proves that his senses are fighting against each other. So he's consciously contradicting himself, and it's
right.
like,
but he was saying everybody, that's okay because everybody contradicts themselves.
well, is that an objective truth then?
Yeah, it goes back down to you have to say that you know it's no point, right?
How do we
have
know?
to have access to knowledge to even say all people contradict themselves, therefore we can't know anything. You have to. That's why I felt almost like silly, being like, well, how do you know that? Like, it felt almost like,
and he's like, no, I don't know. Then he tells you, I don't know. And why would you? Then
he would say something like he knows it, right? That's where he's inconsistent. And like I said, every time I had to say, well, how do you know that? I felt almost like it felt like a being bad faith or whatever, like being perceived as that. But it's like, but that's where you have to go with it, because it's you're contradicting yourself. And just like, hello, can you hear me? I don't know. I heard some weird gobbledygook sound.
It's because I'm out of battery.
Oh, gotcha. Where's Jube? He can come tell me about tag again.
Bro, what happened to your chat ever since I've been gone?
Like, what do you mean? Something wrong with
it? There's one guy saying, let's invite Nadim into European countries.
Oh my God, we're importing Nadims around here now?
I'm already.
I say deport all Nadims.
He's a based Christian, bro.
Oh, you sound kind of Indian to me.
Oh, body. I think John forgot who I am.
That's wouldn't be hard to
That's
do.
sad. It's,
Not because you're forgettable, because John is he
he's
forgets.
retarded.
That's
No.
true. I love him though.
Why did you call him retarded?
You said that. I just said it was true.
No, I know what you were thinking. You know, the thing is that
How do you know that you knew what I was thinking?
because my foot is hurting, so it means that God doesn't exist. So
Yeah, dude.
then
That's me, dude. I'm not trying to be
What
nothing
is-
that I'm not, dude.
am I inflicting cringe in your channel again?
Yeah, I'm just sad that you don't have your Nadim camera going on. Oh my gosh. That'll hold me over for a while. That's good. Yeah, what could go wrong, dude? If we bring the Jews and their broom, what could happen? How are you, Nadim?
Good, I missed you. It's been a long time. We need to play Minecraft.
I miss smelling you through the camera.
Have you been streaming? A lot.
On and off. I've been actually building that studio now. I've got 3 walls up, got the foundation all set and everything.
Nice.
So
how long do you
been
think
streaming every once a week, once every other week or something like that. I haven't been committed to like a full schedule, trying to get momentum, because I know that's going to be easier when that's there. So that's what I'm spending a lot of my sunshine days on. But yeah, and I've also got another kid on the way, due in about 3 weeks or so. So I know that's going to put another wrench in trying to have a regular schedule. So I'm kind of just going when I can here.
Is everything okay at the parish?
Oh yeah. I mean, we've got freaking like 80 catechumen, even though we've been baptizing people.
Nice, glory to God.
When is the stream going to be conducted through EWBSX? Do I need to rebuild YouTube using AI cheats? Potentially. I mean, the CB TV stuff, if we could like host some videos or embed them on the website. I think that's the Jews, dude. I think that's the Jews. I think you got it wrong.
What is that question? I told you something happened to your chat.
Well, it's because I'm not streaming like on a weekly schedule, like 3 times a week. It's not as consistent. Sometimes I just get random algo people. Sometimes I get Twitter people or whatever.
Yeah, it felt like very random people, unless I don't know. You hit 1,000, so maybe that's
yeah. And my Twitter algo has been crazy lately, dude. I've gotten like 500,000 impressions in the last like 2 weeks.
What?
Yeah, dude. I just said something dumb about atheists, and it was like, here's 10,000 views. And every tweet I was doing was like, here's 10,000 views.
That's crazy. Actually, you should, every time you tweet something, just link your YouTube channel to it.
Yeah. I started wrote up a ton of like dumb, to me, they're funny tweets about atheism and evolution. I just like filled up my drafts with them so I can just like post.
Oh wait, do you remember the short videos you used to do?
Yeah, I'm basically what I'm doing is just putting those videos I did like 2 years ago into like text form, and then X is like, we like this, more of this.
It's weird, like the thing that's the least, like the more like the shortest form is always glorified and on Twitter.
It definitely seems to promote more brain dead content.
Yeah. Bro, I'm seeing your tweets, they're all like one phrase long.
Yeah. Well, eventually, because I started doing the same thing I did with those videos, people would comment the most retarded stuff. So I just like change a word, and somebody's like, atheism is science. I was like, all right, Christianity is science. There we go. That's up there now.
I respect atheists. Why would they return the faith?
I can get my
But like
keyboard.
crying.
Keyboard's still
Oh,
not
and
working.
then because there's your rage baiting. That's what you're doing.
No, I'm not rage baiting, dude.
Evan,
The thing is, like,
Evan
even the
goes-
things I'm posting, like the most rage baity, I could still give like an argument for. Then mostly. Well, that was pretty much the stream. This is just a little after party, I guess. Seeing Nadim for the first time in like a year. Did you see that the Discord's going? There's more people in there now.
Is it?
Yeah, dude. You're not even modding, dude. You're like my main mod. You're like my only mod.
I'm the only mod, but I check it like every 4 months.
Oh, that's a great workload for a mod, the main mod to have.
No, but it seems like to hold itself up alone, because you don't need me. You just need me there as like a, someone who has clout and everything. You need to.
As we just demonstrated, atheists do bow before something without proof. That was what the whole debate was this is just the best thing we have. Okay, well, how do you know it's the best? Well, because I think it's the best. Okay, but that's not proof that it is. And we can show that there's things outside of that epistemology that aren't accounted for it. Even the foundation of itself, the axiom it's based upon is contradictory of the axiom itself. So I just can't imagine any epistemology, that works like that. I can't imagine anything. Therefore, I can just believe whatever without proof, bro. Thank you. I mean, I'm nice, right?
Oh wait, actually, there's a lot.
That's actually my biggest problem is that I'm too nice. I got to work on that.
But actually, wait, I have a defense for my lack of modding. It's actually because I set it up so well that no one can, act up and act.
Yeah, you use the threat of force. They're like, they behave because they know I'll come down on them every 4 months.
Yeah, they're scared. They see the way I looked like 2 years ago on the sticker, the little sticker you have.
They know that your unibrow is getting thicker.
Yeah, they know that my beard is growing. They're afraid that something might happen. Some bombing or something. God forbid.
I don't think you know what you're talking about, Garland Garrett.
I told you there's something weird happening in your chat, but I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
That's all right. That's your job.
Is it? You haven't paid me in how long has it been? 3 years?
Well, I haven't really paid myself, which is your job. Again, get the chat. You should be saying like, comment, subscribe, send super chats.
Comment, subscribe.
Become a member.
I buy memberships. Waste your money on him.
Bro, what? You're right. Ass thrown not on the Tell Live Vision show. You got anything for that one, Nadim?
Sorry, I don't understand.
This is just a bunch of witchcraft. Philosophy is witchcraft. It makes sense that you'd think that if you're an empiricist, if you don't believe in immaterial stuff.
Well, what do you mean by that? By witchcraft?
Like anything I can't see with my eyeballs.
Oh, so your words are
words is witchcraft. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm even doing witchcraft right now, saying I don't like witchcraft because I'm using words. You haven't got the think right place to know what you don't know. Yeah. It do be that way.
Doobie.
Well, man, I'm gonna get back to building the building. Unless you got something.
Did you?
Dude, do you actually believe in space?
Me, no.
You're kidding.
I
You're joking.
I believe in
Hey.
the space I'm in. I'm taking space.
Dustin says, "Good to hear you." Do I sound good? I was having real problems the last like 2 times I streamed. I kept cutting in and out.
No,
in
he's
my-
talking about me. The world doesn't revolve around you. It revolves around the sun. Okay. And
All right.
the
Truly, he is risen. Almost done
the
with that.
flat Earth.
I've
For-
been
for
to the
me, it's-
divine universe.
Are you?
Oh.
Are you?
Is the divine universe here with us now? Can you tell me what you're seeing there on the ground? What's the divine
Mm.
universe like?
Can you use your senses and describe it to us, please?
Just don't use any. Just don't use any witchcraft.
Yeah, please. Okay, just build something to show us. Build something physical.
Yeah, dude. That's
Did you
I don't
figure
know.
out?
I don't know if it's like a grandma on her grandson Garrett's account or if that's just a picture of his grandma, but somebody's doing drugs.
Which one? What's his
Oh
name?
my gosh, his story. History is his story, bro.
Oh, he cracked the code. He cracked it. Did you figure out your Minecraft login?
Oh no, I haven't. Thanks for reminding me.
We need to play Minecraft on stream.
Everybody come and join our the Mr. Westward Minecraft server.
There's
I can't even use my Bluetooth isn't working. I have a cord from my keyboard, but I can't use it and the mic at the same time. Can't type anything.
bro.
Hey Nadim, go play Minecraft with Trent.
T10D. What?
Titan Dino. Titan Dino.
Titan.
Titano. All right.
Titandino.
Oh no, dude. The gematria of Nadim is 326, which also means Garland Garrett needs help. Coincidence?
Man, Dustin's brain is way too advanced for me. Sorry, his
I have not seen any god yet that was able to stand. They have been making them up for thousands of years, mostly barbarians. Okay.
I have not
Go,
seen
go
your
get your
words.
meds. All right.
Oh, and he kept talking about his senses, but in the way he sees it. But what if he was blind?
Yeah, well, I mean, he'd still have hand senses, right? Like
But
ear senses, mouth
what
senses,
if he had no he was blind, deaf,
quadriplegic,
couldn't feel?
let his tongue out.
Would his beliefs be?
What if he wasn't able to feel pain? Would pain be real? I don't know. I've never felt it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, that essentially that might be a good metaphor for what the whole issue was of like, I just don't see how anything's better than empiricism, even though we can pick apart it all day. We can show the issues with it, show how it's not consistent, show how it's self-defeating, but that's the best we got, right? Essentially, that's like a blind person saying like, oh, I've never seen anything, so like my hands and my mouth is all I got. It's like, well, no, like other people see this other epistemology, and you're not actually stepping into that to try to understand it. You're every time you're coming at it, you're coming from a external critique, assuming empiricism.
Exactly.
All right, I don't know what that was.
Exactly.
Is that you being Jesse Lee Peterson?
Who that?
Amazing. You know that easy Godfather is Satan.
Exactly.
All right, man. I'm hungry.
Me too.
Hopefully I didn't screw up too bad. I feel
also.
like I did fine for just jumping on.
Yeah, you did fine. It's fine. I give you.
Yeah, thank you.
I forgive you.
You could have said you did good, but yeah, no, I did fine. I did. Yeah,
I forgive you. I forgive you.
Thank you. Did you know women is of the devil?
God forgives and I forgive. Don't worry.
Yeah,
it will be fine.
I've told you the story of my first day of being a Christian, right?
Oh no.
So this, I got baptized on a Saturday. Then on the Sunday, the next morning, I show up. I'm in my white gown, and they say like, what is it? Pray, Lord, all catechumens. and people start going, and a guy behind me puts his hand on my shoulder, starts pushing, like, go, 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 go. I'm like, what? No, what? And he's like, no, go, go. And I go up and I start walking up to the cat with the catecumene. I'm like staring down at my feet, like, I shouldn't be doing this. What am I doing? And he's praying for the catechumen. I'm into my white robe there. And a reader in the church puts his arm around him. He's like, hey, he says it loudly, like for everybody to hear. Hey, I saw you got baptized yesterday, right? Yeah, that's right. You don't belong here. Okay, all right. Catechumen depart. Look, catechumen remain. I turn around. The guys went, sorry.
Is that a true story or?
It's absolutely. And now that guy's a deacon, and I've talked to him about it. He was like, yeah, I was just so used for months of seeing you go up with the catechumen. I just thought, like, you had to keep going. Like, it felt wrong for you not to go. So I was like, you have to go. So in the narthex, I see him there, and it turns to me. He's like about to apologize. I was like, God forgives and I forgive. He's like, thank you. First day as a Christian, I suffer some humiliation.
Do you guys do the catechumens leave?
No, I mean some of them have, but no, it's not.
Okay.
Not what they go back to their spots.
It's weird. Yeah, I've never seen it happen.
Have you been to a monastery?
Huh?
Monasteries here, they still do that. Like if you're not allowed to be in after that.
Monasteries here, like most of them, there isn't any like
catechumen. A lot of cradle.
Well, the catechumens would go to parishes, and then like if they're in a monastery, then the abbot would like help with the catechesis, but I haven't seen them like physically leave.
We got 100 pesos, so about 55 cents, I think. Can't listen while working, but I know Nadim won. Good job, Nadim. Thank you for winning.
Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome.
On correcting me and telling me I did fine. I did fine.
No, he did good. It's just that it got lost in translation.
Okay, yeah, I don't speak
Lebanese.
I don't speak Lebanese.
You don't speak Lebanese.
Yeah, I haven't heard you speak Lebanese in a while.
No, I spoke Lebanese like 10 minutes ago. You just
but like to get like the correct dialect, you have to be like wheezing and
yeah. And my camera has to be on with my nose.
Yeah, and you have to be just rocking back and forth like you're autistic. Yeah, people don't know the deep lore. I mean, Dustin.
Yeah, no one knows.
Dustin and Welly, probably the only ones.
Yeah, Dustin and Welly. Who? John, maybe.
Oh yeah, John. John would know. Bro, if we just keep streaming, these comments are just gonna keep coming like it's a autopilot. Trump want a new ballroom for the new world order. Well, the ball lie are done, and there is nothing new under the sun. All right, Schizo Seuss.
No, it's a good. I
like it though. No, I keep coming. I never know.
You should.
Maybe I'm believing in the racket scam. Whatever that is, I want to believe. All right, I want to believe. Whatever it is got going on.
Light. You should start.
You
should start a channel, like a journalism channel. I'd subscribe.
Just going journalize, doing journalism of all the schizos on the internet. Is that like what
journalize about
it? Spears about that's like his Christological guy.
Yeah, this guy, I don't know him.
All right. Hey, Light World S5Y, do you have a channel? Do you have content that I can go convert
Can you
to?
press on his name, bro?
My keyboard is non-existent at the moment. Let me see if I can do it with just my mouse.
My friend farted in church one time. 11 years later, his house was hit by lightning. Coincidence?
Go to channel. This person have. No, I'll subscribe. You got 2 subscribers now, Light World. There you go.
Oh, send me
you gotta take whatever's going on in this brain you're dumping in this chat, and you gotta make it a piece of art. These guys aren't as schizo as that old man talking about seeing the sign, and he showed that picture that looked like it was drawn by a 9-year-old. Who's that? Are you talking about the Wesley guy that like came up and was like playing piano and like he's like clearly just demonically possessed?
Wesley
That's got it. That's who you're talking about. Yeah. What was his name? You remember? Yeah,
The
pray for that.
Wesley guy.
When he jumped on my channel, I was like,
Oh yeah, I remember this guy.
like everyone in chat, don't make jokes. Don't meme right now. Like this is like serious. Like this guy is not well.
He thought Abraham Lincoln was a prophet or something. Do you remember? Was it
Did
him?
you know Abraham Lincoln's black?
Not Abraham Lincoln. Yeah, Abraham Lincoln. The prophecy of Abraham Lincoln. Which one was this? He came on your channel once.
Wes
He-
Curry. Yeah, that guy. I mean, pray for that dude. Hope he's all right.
He
The thing
saw
is,
that.
like, that's going into the schizo stuff. Like, it could be entertainment, but to like some of these people, it's like it's an actual. There's so much sadness there for me to be entertained. I'd feel bad about getting content out of that.
I have
Abraham
an idea.
They built the pyramids. Yeah, is he the one that built Washington's Danger?
Yeah, I have an idea.
Okay.
We should make people pay for to be part of the Discord.
That's what we
Or-
did at the beginning, and then we had like 5 people. We had like 10 people join, and then they were just going back to Jim Bob's server anyway. So I opened it up. Now we're at 44 people, and there's people like post. It's not just me now.
Oh, and I also never kicked the ones that didn't
Yeah.
review the.
Yeah, if it turns out if
Because
you
I
don't
didn't-
release it, then it doesn't happen.
No, actually,
We're very
no.
organized here, and I've thought this all out, and I'm very professional.
Wait, there's someone in the general VC now. What's he
Oh, it's
doing
Trent.
there?
Hello, Trent. Oh my gosh, now you're on this. You could just join the freaking StreamYard. Oh, you don't have a blessing? Oh, you're at work. Oh, like that's different. That they can't even hear you. That nigga. Okay. Oh, I can't. Why not?
So sorry, I didn't say it on stream. You can't say nigga, man.
Oh no, I'm getting an echo. This is awful. I can't backspace because I don't my keyboard.
Okay, I deafened. Don't worry.
Boom, got the link. Blam.
Can I promote people?
Oh, I can't press. I have to press enter on here. Discord, you have to press.
Is it now open? Like anyone can join the Discord?
I've posted it in the chat sometimes.
Okay, everyone post it again. Everyone.
Oh, you sure? I did. I thought about it doing earlier, and I didn't because all the schizo stuff.
Oh, okay. Don't. Sorry. Forgive me. God
We
forgives.
can always boo people,
and you
so, like,
forgive me.
God forgives, and I
God-
forgive. Yes.
Okay. Sorry. Forgive me again.
Trent, I know you can hear me. You want to hop on?
He deafened.
It's because he's
Shame.
trying to connect to here, probably.
Let's go to the gaming channel and play Minecraft.
Right now,
No, when you fix your login.
I'm just okay. So we're learning about the divine realm. They're going through constellations. I think that means constellations.
No, it's the consolation. So every time you're sad, they console you.
Ah. Okay, so they're being consoled, and they're looking at the fallen gods stuck in the space, and they're laughing. They're laughing twice.
Yeah, are they Mormon? Oh, it's a mix actually. They're Mormon. There's Yaqub. I think I know what he's talking about. He's one of my people.
Yeah, you have people.
Yeah, I have people. Bro, I created the white race.
Hello, Trent.
Hello? Does this even work, dude?
Yeah, dude, I hear you.
This is a weird platform.
Yeah, I'm. That's why you have the thumb or the watermark up there because I stopped paying for it. I was gonna go to a different platform.
Why don't you use OBS?
Hey, Trent, I got one for you. Can you prove you're atheist and not a theat?
Yes, I can.
All right, prove to me that you're not a theat.
It doesn't exist, so I can't be one, dude.
I can imagine. I can just create in my mind a Theat, and that's you.
Oh, like the guy was trying to make up the ad hoc god or whatever, like
Yeah, yeah.
justify that's where having the justifications helps. But FD like Jay won't even go into those. Like he basically just like hand waves everybody to FDA because like it's complicated. The one in the menu is like probably the best example though. But
Right. I mean, like again, it
like
just like I kept
you
being
can't
like,
just
well,
ad
aren't you
hoc
just
make up a god or a worldview to like fit all these justifications. Like you, that's why you don't have to attack every single one because you can't just
yeah. Well,
make one up on the
even
fly.
then, what I could have done or should have done is that you are the one creating this. This God is coming up from your own mind. Your God, you are necessary for this um this figment that you're creating, which is it's the difference between theonomous and revelatory, autonomous versus theonomous epistemology. They assume because they're autonomous. They assume every other epistemology is autonomous.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, but drywall man, love to meet him sometime.
Drywall man, dude. I'm about to convert now, dude.
Yeah. So where do I go to have the
Yeah,
praxis
how do
of
I
being
get
a
to
drywall
know?
follower?
How do I get to know who this drywall man is?
Yeah, can I
Because he
read
has to
about
be
him? Can I
personal,
meet him?
otherwise there's no justification for like
That's
personhood.
that's why I immediately went to like the problem of one of the many, and eventually what would have to happen for him to not fall into contradiction or self-refuting, he'd have to essentially just ascribe every attribute of the Orthodox God to this drywall man, because you
Yeah,
just start picking apart one
in
at a
which
time. You're like,
case-
okay, well, you believe you are now presupposing the Orthodox God, but calling him drywall man.
Now, if
Sorry, I
someone were to
don't know
do that, does that mean that they worship God?
Oh,
Vatican II drywall man?
well, since God worship is not propositional, if you are a Roman Catholic, you would be worshiping them. But
Oh, true. You'd have to somehow find a valid Orthodox bishop that's willing to do drywall man liturgy.
like, I will convert, but only if I'm allowed to say in the name of drywall man.
I think wait, we're crossing a line. I think in this conversation somehow.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Can we
I'm
cross
not saying.
back?
I didn't bring up Bishop Claude into this conversation, at least. That's some lore you don't know about, Nadim.
Yeah, sorry. I need to catch up on the new lore.
That's
I only
okay.
know
Friends from
the
my
old
parish
lore.
too. So there's going to be local lore you don't know.
Ah, even local lore. It's even deeper.
It is deep. That's deep lore.
Well, Bishop Claude's not even local. That came from my friend in Texas.
Oh,
It's
Trent, you want to tell the story about
national
your first day as a Christian? I told mine.
Which one? The like you can't take communion now one?
Yeah, that one's funny.
Oh my friend is like a super autistic spurg, but he's the one that even got me to attend in the first place. So I invited him over to my baptism, and the day after the baptism, Sunday morning, he's like he's going around our house just like handing out these like Japanese candies. They're like melon flavored candies, actually pretty good. Hands them to my wife. She's like, "Oh yeah, pretty good, Trent. You gotta try these." Hands them to me, pop it in my mouth, and instantly when I put it in my mouth and it touches my tongue, he points at me, and he's like, "Ha! You can't take communion now. You've broken the Eucharistic fast. Your first sin."
Your first sin.
What? It
He also
Actually,
peed on your
insane.
couch.
And yes,
Was-
and he peed my couch as well.
What was it in the morning before liturgy?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
He got
yep.
baptized Saturday. It's before liturgy on Sunday, and he's like, "Here, try this piece of candy."
Is he serious?
Yeah,
Is
well,
he,
I don't know.
is he your
yeah.
friend?
Yeah, he
Uh,
is.
the impression he's from out of town. He flew up here for the baptism, and the impression of the locals got here is that he's like a holy fool.
Yeah.
A holy fool that doesn't want his friend to commune on his first day.
Well, I mean, then we can go to like Father Seraphim Rose, be like, "Oh, this isn't oil. I'm not breaking the fast. It's just peanut juice."
Yeah, dude.
The fast is just to not eat completely before.
Have you heard about the story of the monk who would eat before the Eucharist, and then he wouldn't eat after?
No.
So all these monks were like talking to the abbot, like, this guy, you have to talk to him. He's eating before the Eucharist. He's breaking the fast. He's eating before. That's not the tradition. So he's like, okay, come. And there's like this old monkey that comes walking into the office. He takes off his coat and he sets it down, and he sits in front of the abbot. And the abbot's ready to tell him, like, you shouldn't be doing this. He's going to correct him. And he's like, what did you want to tell me, abbot? He's like, you're good. You're fine. Go in peace. Because he looked behind him, and the coat was floating on a ray of sunshine through the window. So, and the guy's thoughts were, I want to eat before, so the last thing on my lips is the Eucharist, and I don't want anything after that. Obviously, it's not like the taught tradition, but it was still like, usually like holiness in that.
Yeah, he's a monk. He's not.
Dude, you don't like story time? I don't know what to tell you.
But he's an elder monk that hasn't been baptized for 1 day, so it's probably better for someone who's been baptized for 1 day to fast.
It's a funny
before.
story, Nadim. It's a funny story.
It's very enlightening and very, very heartwarming. I agree.
Jimbo Slice, how you doing, man? Philly Fight Club. We can, if you want. Something you need?
I actually want to get Garland Garrett in here.
Oh, that'd be interesting. Hey, Garland, do you want to join?
I'm
can
very
have some crazy cringe
interested.
schizo panelverse stuff.
It's not even
like it.
schizo. I'm interested in what they have to say.
Yeah, my epistemology is everything Garland Garrett says is true.
Yeah, basically.
Wait,
Whatever
are we
he's
back to
experiencing is real and authentic. So his sense data is being interpreted properly.
If you would have learned math, geometry, angle, and timing, you could do all that in under 5 minutes. What?
what? Please
We're
make it make sense.
reaching levels where you like can't even assume this is AI because AI would be more comprehensible than.
I have 7 sisters that passed away in the stars.
What's wrong with what's up with being under the sun? Like
Just
this guy
do what you're doing
obsessed
now,
with
but
this.
with your mouth. That's all we want.
Light world is obsessed with being under the sun.
Yeah, I
Ouch, the
mean,
lie.
Light World and Garland Garrett seem like
Interesting.
well, I feel like
cast
anything they say you could put like with a narrator at like the beginning of a movie and it would fit somehow. Like to show space, show the planets, and just have what they're saying there.
Wait. Do like a sketch and okay, with the sun only a couple thousand kilometers above your head, the number, the number are low.
That's the sun.
The number are low. What does that mean?
Did you have any other thoughts, Trent, on that debate?
No, it's pretty solid. It's just
Fine,
the
he did
the
fine,
guy
right?
just. I think that the only thing is he didn't have any issue with saying that like nothing matters, or basically I don't know, that's like the end result of like what he was arguing for, is that like it doesn't really matter, which should just really end the conversation. Like,
Right. Well, then
you
it's
have
like
to at least have a positive position. He's
Right.
only arguing for negatives and has no positive position that he can actually even confidently say is true. So I mean, like, why even bother trying to like change someone's mind?
right. I mean, that's why like, if you say you don't have a position, it's kind of like, well, you're conceding. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
all right, thank you.
It's
and he
not,
kept going
it's
back
not
and
even a
forth with me,
debate
I
or
know
anything.
and I
It's just
don't
like
know.
it's like a
Right.
shooting like random ideas past each other conversation, not even a debate.
Right. And when you break it down and you like flatten everything like that, when he's like, well, I don't have any reason to believe in your God. It's like, well, we've shown that you admit that you don't have any reason to believe what you believe. So wouldn't it be just as, could you go to Pascal's wager at that point if it doesn't matter?
Yeah. That's why it's just, if he's willing to concede all of the like lack of objectivity, then I mean, that's really kind of just the end.
Right. I mean, so saying there's no objective truth statements except for this one, you'd still be appealing to the laws of, oh my God, Lord Jesus Christ, have mercy on me, a sinner. I don't know if we want to go here. I'll finish that thought. You'd still be appealing to things outside of that truth claim because you'd be appealing to the laws of logic.
Yeah.
Everyone, I'm going to be very careful here. Hello, Wesley Curry. How are you, sir?
Well, for not telling the vision from Jesus of the foot cut off that did not bleed, with the orange, red, and the bottom dark green leaves, Jesus is going to do the same thing to you he did to Satan. He's going to cast you out.
All right. Can you play piano for me, please?
The microphone system doesn't make a very pleasant audio. I don't have the OBS system set up for that right
Okay.
now.
Well, next time I'd love to hear it, man.
I would like to say about 2 weeks ago, I prayed to Jesus and I asked him to reveal to all mankind for 7 nights your soul, your mansion, your foundation. That if you were shown it, and I believe you were, you saw the Holy Spirit of Jesus. It looked like a white bowling ball, a pearl of great wealth in your belly. That's the Word of God. When somebody speaks from the Holy Spirit, they speak from that. But if the rest of you is ashes, those ashes is your name blotted out of the book of life. The kingdom of Gog and Magog is what those ashes are. The wages of sin is death. Every time you do a sin, part of your soul becomes a piece of dead ash. Not forgiven by Jesus, those ashes. Not baptized by Jesus. The pearl, the vision, forgiven by Jesus. Baptized by Jesus. When you tell the vision, the pearl restores the ashes. Then you get the breastplate of righteousness. When those ashes are gone and it's white and clean. When you tell the vision, it goes into, it restores your minds. And then you have the helmet of salvation. Telling the vision is the way the 144,000 shall be sealed, is the baptism of the Holy Spirit, is the second coming of Jesus. There is no other second coming of Jesus.
All right, man. Thanks for that. Anything else you'd like to add?
That's it. I don't want to go on and on and on. Just
Yeah. All right, man. I hope you have a good rest of your day.
Thank you. Good day.
You too.
Who was that?
I need.
Preach.
That's the prophet, man. That's the prophet.
Bro. It's the
That was
prophet of
Wesley,
Maryam.
and please pray for him. That's all. I need a palate cleanser. Nadim, Trent, say something funny.
I don't know. I'm just trying to take in and comprehend all
No, that's
the
the issue.
lines that were drawn.
No, you don't got. That's the
You
trap.
have to take it out, maybe spit it out to try to
There is
cleanse your.
there is no engaging.
I was trying to
That's-
whiteboard out all the connections on my whiteboard over here.
No. That's the problem. You can't do that.
You have to cleanse your your stomach, and then when you cleanse it, it travels through your chest plate, and then it goes back to your mind, and then it goes back to your mouth, and then your tongue wiggles a bit, and then you start speaking, and you realize that all I just said is nonsense.
Hey, Garland Garrett, I claim you. Use my people. Right?
All people's my people.
Yeah. As long as you ain't a woman, that means you a Satan.
You cry on Friday night.
You cry about Jesus. Anyways, I'd like to end on a better note, but I got to pee so bad. So, thank you everybody for showing up.
Minecraft, please,
Thank you
Westford,
again
don't
to
forget.
Ignis
Set up Minecraft.
for hopping on. Thank you, Trent. Thank
Set
you,
up
Nadeem.
Minecraft. We need to start a server. There's
Am I a
server
pee hole? You're
on-
committing a composition fallacy. Just because I have a pee hole doesn't mean I am a pee hole. All right. All right.
There's a server called Orthocraft, but there's so much people
Is
there.
that
I already
is
have
that
an
redeemed?
account on
Is that redeemed Zoomer's Minecraft server?
No.
No, it's
You know, like
I don't know who
his
owns
server
it.
and his Discord. He's like, people need to stop converting and talking about orthodoxy. I will boot you.
Yeah, I use the meme channel in this Discord all the time.
Oh, I'm
But-
not on there.
He just the memes are good here and there. It's just that you have to be careful, like even talking, because I mean, if you ascribe to any idea that like there is right worship and wrong worship, he'll just ban you.
I mean, he goes. It's weird because he goes back and forth on so many things. Like he was tweeting not long ago that like there is it's the Protestant position of an invisible church is just not historical. I'm like, okay, so go on.
Well, you see, it's not invisible. It's actually the visible Protestant Universal Magisterial Church, where all of the Protestants are a connected magisterium. That's his new position.
What if it's like no, it's there is an invisible church, but it's actually based in physical reality. The invisible church emerges from the physical matter.
Do we use the like hammers in the stones of the Masons to bring?
Yes, you should use the compass to kind of map it all out and figure. I gotta pee so bad. Everybody, goodbye. I'm
Enjoy,
gonna
dude.
myself. Goodbye.